Welcome back to FDB Sports. This is a boxing show. If you didn't see the preview we did, we thought it'd be a good fight. So we done a preview show for the Fury versus Wilder part 3, and we're back again to do the aftermath. Now, I'm here with my brother Kahinde. How you doing, Kahinde?
Yeah, I'm buzzing, man. I'm still buzzing from that fight. Unbelievable.
Before we go into it real deep, I mean, we stayed up, yeah. I stayed up. I mean, a lot of people stayed up, and I'm really happy that I stayed up to watch the fight because it was special. And I'm really happy as well. We didn't have to stream it. We could actually watch it on TV because of our little investment, you know, on the big screen. I called my brother. I hear this, people. I called my brother up about whatever time it came on, 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and he answered after about 2-3 rings. And all I could hear, so he must have set the scene. All I could hear was the crowd, the commentators. It's like you were in the zone. You were sitting there with a big TV.
Everything, you know.
So tell me, how did you sit up last night? Tell me about your night. Did you stay up? Did you set your alarm? How did you set up? Because I wish I was there. It sounded good.
You know what? Usually when the boxing's on in America, I really struggle. I think, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to try and watch it. And then I don't. And then I look at like Daily Motion in the morning, like who's got the fight up. Yeah, but this one, my alarm went off and it was just like straight away, you know, wake up. I set my alarm for like 3:50. I was like, it's like, you know, you can't miss it. You can't miss a fight like this.
Yeah.
I think really Wilder makes the fight exciting as well, just because of that power. It's just amazing to watch, you know, how you could just change things like that. And
what's your setup like this morning? So you said you had a beer as well already? You popped a beer?
I had a beer. You put my beer out of the fridge. You know, when you called me, I was like, yeah, I'm up, man.
I was worried. I thought you were sleeping.
Nah.
Yeah. Wow. What an amazing fight, bruv.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
In the last 20 years, the best 3 heavyweight fights I've seen, it's got to be Lewis Vitali, AJ Vladimir, and now this one. They're the top 3.
Okay, yeah. I'm with you on that. I think Lewis Vitali was an epic fight, and it's like, and all 3 fights you've mentioned, the guys 6'5", 6'6" plus, big guys getting it in, and almost. Lennox was coming to the end of his career. Vlad was coming to the end of his career against AJ, but these two with their trilogy, they're sort of in their prime, aren't they? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely.
And what made it really good, I mean, these two linking up is because they were both unbeaten when they originally met. It was like 2 big guys who have been pretty dominant in their career up until that date for the first fight. And it's good to see because boxing's gone a bit downhill because you don't see competitive fights. It's not like a body which organizes fights would say, right, you're number 1, you're number 2, you must fight. You know, the matchmaking is a bit like WWE jobbers style, you know, in a way where you're not seeing real consistent good fights. So this, I think, hopefully this fight will restore boxing, and Fury and Wilder's name will be on everyone's lips, you know. We've seen social media today, it's been going wild, it's all over the news, and hopefully everyone will get an opportunity to see the fight and just to see how great it was, you know, for us. But I don't know where to start. I mean, I thought I had so much to sort of prepare for the show, but now we're here. I'm looking at you. I'm just like, where do we start with this? It's so good. So let's pretend that no one knows anything about the fight. Let's just start. So the other day we done a preview. We talked about their backgrounds, how we got to this stage. So it's fight night now. There were a few question marks. So let's put this in. So the first fight was a draw, which we could agree that's probably the fair result. Second fight, Tyson Fury, absolutely was kind of one-sided.
Yeah.
Okay, and so going into this fight, there was still a little bit of question mark because what you raised at the start, you said about Fury, Wilder's power, one-punch power, it's kind of legendary. So there were still question marks, and to be honest, after the second fight, I wasn't sure I wanted to see it again. But now that it's happened, I'm so glad they get it on. They got it on, you know. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you first. Should we talk about the fight first? Let's talk about the fight. Round 1. because we were going through this the other day. All right, so what round one? You remember round one because we spoke about this earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
About so it was obvious about what Wilder's strategy was going into round one. Can you talk about what he did?
Well, he went straight to the body, and it just looked. I don't know what it was for you, but for me, it was like scary. Like the way he was throwing those punches, like there was intent. It was like I want to hurt this man. Usually he's quite patient and all that, but he from the get go, I thought, wow, and I was like, how long can he keep this up for? Because obviously, he looked bigger physically as well. Usually he's a lot. So I was like, this is scary. I was like, if Fury gets hit with one of these punches, I don't know what's going to happen. So I was really waiting after that because I was like, all right, he's establishing his range. He's standing his ground. I was like, how's Fury going to get inside now with this new strategy? This is what we were talking about because obviously we knew that Wilder's going to approach the fight differently. How's Fury going to adapt?
Okay.
He started to in the second round.
So for people out there who don't really know, what would be the purpose of Fury going to the body? What was the purpose of that? What does that establish?
Well, it's just mixing it up a bit because of Wilder going to the body. Because
Fury. Sorry.
Because Wilder's got a thing where he pulls the jab and hits you over with the right hand, and it's just an obvious thing. It's very predictable, his style.
Yeah.
Like what Malik Sukot was saying about getting these tools out of, he's an Olympian, he's got it, he's got all the skills. So he's just putting the tools together and just reminding him about what he's got, and obviously to beat someone like Tyson Fury, you can't be one-dimensional. Yeah. And I think the strategy to go to the body was just to confuse Fury, give him something else to think about because not only was he threw like one punches like a few times, but then he went up and then fainted. He fainted up and then went over again with the right.
Wilder, okay.
Yeah. So, he almost caught him. So he had a bit of a strategy where it was like body feint and then come over. So it was a good strategy, and I think Fury had to think about, right, how am I going to get inside of this? How am I going to get to him?
Yeah, I think when you go to the body as well, it sort of establishes a bit of range because he's a headhunter, isn't he? So he started off by pumping the jab down to the body. He pumped the right hand down to the body a couple of times, and all Fury could do because he's so concerned about obviously the power up top. Yeah. He was knocking down low and just covering up.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is you're waiting for it to the one to come up top. So you go low. And then when you mix up to go, it's like playing rock, paper, and scissors. You don't know what's coming next. So I thought that was a great strategy to start with. It makes the opponent think, and for me, it gave Wilder the first round because Fury was trying to say, well, how am I going to counter this? So I just parry. I know at some point he's going to try and go up top. I don't think he did in the first round. I don't know if you remember. I think it was all body shots. Or maybe,
No, I seem to remember him doing like a body, and then it was like he went over the left, but then came over with the right. It's like he fainted a bit and then went over. So it was some sort of 3-punch strategy. It was like body, feint, and then over with the right. Because when, obviously, if you're going to the body, Fury's going to anticipate, all right, he's going to go up then. But it was a 3-punch combination. He almost caught him off. He almost caught him.
And a couple of body shots he did hit him with. He did catch him with. Yeah. I think that was a brilliant strategy. Fair play to their team and doing their homework, because they won round one, and Fury went back to his corner. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, like you said, how is Fury going to come back from this? Not like it's a major deficit, but what's he going to do next? How's he going to establish himself in the fight? Because Fury wants to come out there and front foot and sort of dictate the fight, So second round, it was Fury came back into it a little bit.
I
think a bit more
right hand in the second round, and I think he kind of wobbled Wilder a little bit. Kind of changed the complexion of the fight a little bit because he was like, okay, he got back in charge, Fury, and obviously third rounds. That's what happened.
Okay, yeah. So second round, a lot of people scored at 10-10. I wasn't really scoring, but I could have given that to Fury. But it's still with these guys sometimes hard to sort of score. There's nothing decisive, you know. So going into the third round now, Fury. I mean, he was feinting a lot more to get inside. And the thing is, people think you can't just walk this man down, because you try and walk him down, he's just going to come through. You'll walk onto something, you know. So it has to be an educated advance to get close and get your punches off. Even though he's got a longer reach and everything else, Fury wants to get his punches off and then get safe, get inside, you know. And they were Lennox was saying that in the commentary as well about he needs to establish some room, you know, to punch him room. Once he's caught him once or twice, but then really it's a risk as well. So you catch him once or twice, but Fury's going to retaliate. I mean, Wilder's going to retaliate. You're in that danger zone. So Fury was getting close, getting his head up to him, and as soon as he could, like he was in the first fight, and trying to sort of hold on to him and weigh him down a bit. So in the third round, Fury scored a knockdown. Do you remember much about it? Do you want to talk us through that?
I think from what I can remember, I think Fury got in really close, and I think he went over. Like I think he hit him on the temple. It was like
around the ear, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then
his legs,
and then he couldn't hold on. He just
And when he was going down, he flicked him with a hook as well.
Yeah, but it was all about Fury closing the range, because in that first round he couldn't close the range, and when he did start to close the range, that's what happened. Fury's got a different lot of arsenal with his punches, his lot of combination.
So this is about adapting during the fight and actually figuring out a way to sort of adapt to that. So he dropped him. Wilder looked a bit shaky for that punch. Got up though, and they continued. And then the fourth round. Now, wow. This is where it really kicked off. So Fury's up at this point. He's must be feeling confident. Maybe he's thinking I could take this guy out quite early. Fourth round comes. And I just talk, well, from what I saw, obviously I haven't got the video, but I've just seen it once on TV. So what happened is Fury was coming in with his head like that. His guard was up, and he was backing him up towards the ropes. And Wilder just threw a one. I think it was a 1-2, but it's mainly the right hand that came through, and just like the Ortiz knockout, frightening power just went through him. It was like a short range punch, bam, but it went through the target, and you can see Fury's got like belly and all that kind of thing. His whole body like from the impact of that punch. What got me? Fury is like he wasn't concussed or knocked out, but his legs clearly went, because a few seconds later, it
was like an earthquake. I mean, he just you saw it all in his body. Right through. Do you think? What about Fury's positioning for when he got punched? Do you think that? I think earlier he was saying about he did stop moving his head to get inside, because I think maybe he wanted. I think Fury after the third round, he's probably wanted to finish it off quickly. And with Wilder, you would want to finish it off quickly, because the more it goes on, the more risk it is that you're going to get knocked out.
I always felt that Wilder was quite dangerous. Who's the guy? Speaker. He fought a Polish guy. And he was Polish. And it's always the guy was coming at him, and he was on the ropes, and it was like a counter punch, which was like knocked him. He's done it a few times against another. Can't name them top of my head.
Against the ropes,
off the ropes. He's actually he's always been quite dangerous with that whipping, boom, punch. So I think what Fury did wrong, but you got to try and get inside. But he had his guard up like that, but it's like he punched through it. So the guard's not going to do much really, and he hit him just right. To me, I thought the fight was done, because obviously, Fury's down. He's got up, but his legs really weren't there. But he was conscious. He was watching the referee count and everything. And then, there was about 30 seconds left in the round, and Fury went down again. Not from a punch, so to speak, but because his legs were there like jelly, and they were gone.
It was like a rabbit punch. It was like from the first fight. It was just
nothing. It wasn't like whiplash punch. It wasn't like that. It was he had to go down, And at this point, what are you thinking?
I'm just looking at Fury's reactions. That's all I'm looking at. About is he still coherent? And he's very smart. It's like he goes down, looks at the ref, waits. You're not supposed to try and get up straight away because he could be doing some slow dance.
Zab Judah.
Zab Judah. Yeah, don't pay him back. yeah.
Favorite matches. Have you seen that one?
But he was very smart about. All right, I'm gonna wait, make sure I look at the ref because that's so important. The eye contact with the ref. The ref wants to see that you're not flat out.
Yeah.
And so he's making sure. Yeah, look at the ref. Wait till 6 or whatever, 8, get up. And when he got up the second time, and it was like towards the end of the round, I thought, all right, this has happened. He's going to come back stronger from this. I was confident.
Okay.
That was the worst that he could do, and he'll come back.
Even though it was clear his legs are gone, because it does take a lot to recover from that.
I think really always what I look at is the eyes, with the eyes gazed, and like that. I think having the 1 minute rest, and it just when the end of the round, I thought, he could get back in it, and his training
after getting hit clean, flushed by one of the hardest punchers. I mean, that's a great recovery. Isn't it?
Again, I said from the last show, I had that confidence from that first fight when he was laid out, it seemed, and then he came back. Okay. I've always got confidence that he will always get back up.
Yeah,
and I think that I trust that trainer as well, and I think it's really what the trainer was saying to him in between rounds about it. The logic is so different. It's like I'm watching AJ a couple of weeks ago, and Rack said, just do this, do the basic stuff, like not really helping him strategy. But what he was saying about sticking the jab out and things like that, the things that he was saying, it was just.
It's very simple, but it's the game plan. Stick with the game plan. Not so. Why the hell? What happened to you? Why did you get knocked around? There's nothing like that. It's just saying stick to the game plan.
He said slow the fight down. He said slow the fight down. He said to Fury, slow the fight down because what Fury approached that round, he was trying to really get the knockout. Whatever he said, get the pace, slow it down, start sticking that jab in, and then move inside. Just simple things, but it's just you need to hear that at the right time,
So, guy, I mean, look, we need to review the fight properly. So that's round 5. Now we're going into Fury's obviously recovered a bit, and he started to establish himself in the fight. I think Fury won the majority of the remaining rounds. 5
round where Fury was really on top towards like the 8th or 9th, and then Wilder started to really come back. Coming towards the end.
At the end of the round, he caught him again.
Showing that that he was still dangerous.
This is what made it a really exciting fight because you never knew. Even though Fury was like controlling the fight, there was always a chance that he might get caught again, and he did get caught a couple of times. He was able to hold but the thing with him, he got caught, and when he knew he was in trouble, he was able to sort of lean on him or come in close and sort of hold him up, and keep himself up. And ride the punches, And I think I'll give Wilder some credit because he did try to sort of turn him a couple of times to switch him round, thinking, maybe I've got him hurt here, and start throwing punches. So when Wilder throws punches in bunches, I also respect Wilder as well because a couple of times he was whoop, miss, And these punches, if you would have been hit at that sort of stage where he was a bit wobbled, it could have been, if he would have been hit by 2 of the 3, he would have been down. But he missed about all 3 by Fury still having the capacity to actually look, observe, see where the punches come from, duck, bob and weave, and just get out of the way. And this is at close range as well. So that's really good boxing by Fury. So I'm just going to run through because it was Fury. Basically, do you agree that Fury's controlling the fight from 5, 6, 7, 8? And
you were still edge because you thought Wilder. Some of the rounds he was finishing quite strongly, even though Fury dominated the majority of it. So we're still looking to see what could happen, but it was like, Fury, the momentum was with him, definitely.
So going to round 9, still Fury. At this point now, I'm noticing that Wilder's lips. And I remember like Eddie Murphy Raw, he says, says I look like Ed.
What happened? You got shot.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, his lips are really pointed up.
Yeah,
I mean, we're laughing and thing, but boy, this is a rough bit. They get paid a lot of money and thing. But I noticed he was visibly, you could see his mouth was bust up. I mean, because when you see the slow-mo at the end of the round, he was getting hit with some flush punches. People might say Fury don't punch hard, but he's 19 stone a man, you know. So
15.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So I think Wilder's eye was starting to get swollen and everything else, and his ear was bleeding again, and his legs were a bit Bambi, you know, because having to deal with the weight and thing. But he had showed so much courage. I've given so much respect. So in round 10, I think I don't quote me on this, but I think Fury ducked a punch. He swung, ducked a punch, and then came over the top and bam, and dropped him. And it sort of he went bam, you know. His legs went right on the floor, dropped on his face, and that was a huge thing. Because before that, he had opportunities, but he was getting him pop, and getting him close, but not enough to finish him off. But this punch was a clean dropped him again. What do you think about the 10th round?
I feel like with that one, Wilder was getting so tired, and it was because he swung that punch. It was like a desperation to get him away. Yeah. But after he swung it, his body was so out of position that it was just Fury. All he had to do was come over with that hook, you know. And it was really like I was really like that move because I just like the duck under. It just shows he doesn't to knock someone down like that. He's so close to him, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, everyone else is knocked down. It's like 1, 2, but it just that's a real skillful move. It's just you know, he's on top from there.
So fair play, he got up from that because it looked like it looked devastating. He got up again and still dangerous, still in the fight. I mean, but out on his feet near enough, you know. So round 11, this is the final round. He manages to he was using his jab, he's working his way inside, and every sort of punch, I think he got him a few consecutive punches, jabbed his head back. I think, and you think he's throwing the towel, but obviously that wasn't going to be the case this time. And then then came the finish, which was another right hand. I'm trying to think now how it went down. I've been watching.
Yeah, it's the rope, but it didn't even look. As
yeah. So Wilder was on against rope. He leaned back, and as he was coming back forward again, he got clipped, and it was this time it hit him sort of on the temple again, and that was it. The referee was like, nah, enough of this, you know. I actually thought when Fury ran off, I thought the referee was going to let him get a count and get up. Because you don't want Fury to, I won the fight, and turn around, say, carry on. And you're, okay, you know, out of breath and everything.
Because I was thinking about, just going back to that first fight. Sometimes, like, when Fury got knocked down in that first fight in the 12th, he looked flat out like normally the ref would, you know, wave it off, like, you know, what Pacquiao did to Hatton, you just wave it off straight away. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's funny that could have happened in the first fight easily. Any other ref could have just waved that off, and Fury would be knocked out. And I was looking at this one. I'm thinking, are they going to give Wilder a chance to get up, or is it worth?
The difference is, I think Jack Reese in the first fight, he knew this was like Fury was actually winning the fight. He wasn't getting battered throughout the whole fight. 2 rounds with drop. Whereas in this fight, it was worrying. The doctor looked at him at the start of the 11th, didn't he? Came out to look at him. So it was it was on the cards that something was happening, and he was getting a beat down.
And he wouldn't
the whole fight.
He wouldn't have beat.
Sorry,
he wouldn't have beat.
I think so because they panned away from it. But I think Lennox said that he was still trying to get up. You know, he's still. So he's really determined.
Right first fight.
You know, when you're in Sydney, Did I win the fight? And also, it reminds me of, like, you know, when Shannon Briggs fought Lennox, and Lennox popped him and dropped him down, and Shannon put his arms up like that. And the referee called it up, and he got up straight away. He just like, So, all right, so that's the end of the fight. Brilliant fight. I called you straight away. as I do, you know, bro. And then, no, hold on, let me catch the interviews and everything else. It was a great moment. I'm glad I really watched that live. So what I want to do, there's a few comments from our loyal fan base. Well, thanks, guys, for supporting us tonight. We've got Gemma here. She said, evening, boys. Never doubted Fury. Good. Did you, anyone else doubt? Did you doubt him?
No.
I think Fury showed something more today, which in terms of greatness, he's banging on that door. Jem says, I like the way Tyson mentally prepares himself and his drive. Wow, this is something, you know, it's visible for everyone to see, don't you think, bro?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you could just see how much he's on it. There's something special about him. It's like an innate thing, you know.
Because it's a huge challenge, isn't it? Edward, how you doing, Edwards? He says, Wilder done well, though the heart of Wilder, but Fury is a better man. So he's praising Wilder's heart. I think that's what was really evident for everyone watching the fight. Wilder didn't want to give up, but yeah, Fury was the most superior boxer, wasn't he? Yeah. Talk MU, big up, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Edward again said, mark my words. Okay, where's my pen? I'm going to mark your words. You saying AJ beats Usyk in the rematch by KO. Okay, I'm not sure about that. What do you think, bro? Yes or no?
I'll have to say no.
I say no as well. I think he loses again. And I hope he doesn't go out to box Usyk like he did in the first fight. Okay. What do you think about that then? Just quickly, just summarize about AJ, saying AJ will beat Usyk in the rematch.
I think the only way he could beat him is decision by bullying him. Maybe he's got to knock him down at least to get points ahead, because he'll lose rounds out in the box. But,
so we're both saying I don't think AJ can beat him. His skill, unless he goes to the Kromp gym.
Goes and gets the trainer.
Yeah. I'm saying that as a joke, but I think he needs to change trainer drastically and learn things that he should have been learning years ago. So I'm not sure about that, but it's interesting. That's what makes boxing interesting, because we really don't know the variables of it. So Edward again says, AJ, oh, here we go. AJ has to bully Usyk in the rematch from the first round, hitting bombs. But AJ blows out a lot. This is the issue with him.
A strategic way of bullying him. You know, I was listening to Ben Davidson, and he was talking about it as well. It's like, it's easier said than done, because he's saying this is top elite level boxing. Is, you know, Usyk is not an easy guy to get to. You know,
exactly.
It would have to be a real good strategy.
Hi, Mike. How you doing, man? Mike is from Paxton Road. Also a boxing fan since they had it at the stadium. That was a great stadium as well, by the way. He says Wilder was blown after the 5th round. I thought he was blown after the 2nd, actually.
So what do you think about him putting on the weight? Everyone's saying him putting on that muscle mass has made him blow out.
The thing is, it's like he came in at 15 stone for the first fight, and that was really light for someone who's 6'7". I mean, really. And then for the first fight, there's probably it was a draw, obviously. So that was his best chance of winning, because he was lighter on his feet. But then Fury had a different game plan in that fight. Fury fought 3 different fights for each of the bouts, you know. And Wilder's always fought kind of the same way. So I think him putting on a bit more weight was to sort of stop being leaned on and sort of have a bit more weight.
He said it in the weigh-in on Friday. He was saying, everyone was saying after he got the scales, like, you know, what's with the weight gain? He's saying, I'm not going to let this guy bully me again. He's not going to be pushing me again. So,
And I think
it worked for him, because, again, he got last time he didn't get any knockdown. So,
But this is what the thing, but you also leave yourself susceptible to be blown out. If you're a bit bigger and then you're carrying a bit more weight, you are going to start blowing. AJ is that typical example of that. You know, you can't be muscle bound and things. I mean, Frank Bruno against Witherspoon and Bernkosher Smith in the later rounds, he couldn't even keep his guard up, you know? Jem again says Fury is like the Undertaker from WWE. When he would go down, then sit up, and the music kicked in. I saw there was a meme or a little video about him getting up when he appeared to be knocked out in the first fight. Yeah, everyone was talking about Undertaker. That's it's memorable, isn't it? This is about his legacy. He's going to be known for that.
Iconic moment.
Yeah, Fury would give AJ a lesson in gypsy boxing. What do you think about that? In a word,
AJ's the Fury streaks away from AJ. I mean, like the gap in the class is just.
But the thing is,
I can't see how AJ have success. You know.
But the thing is, bro, before AJ lost and everything else, I think both of us were always saying that Fury is superior to him and would probably beat him.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we were saying that at the start. But I just think when you're on a hype train and you're unbeaten and you're the poster boy, everything else, it's hard for people who are buy into that. It's hard for them to accept that this guy could actually lose or he's not. You know. Fury would kill AJ, but Fury versus Usyk would be interesting. Do you want to quickly jump on that?
I think it's interesting because, again, it's like Usyk's movement's so good. And you go back to the Cunningham fight and some of the things that Fury had trouble with. But again, when I think about it logically, Fury pressuring a guy like that, I don't know how Usyk would be able to deal with it the whole 12 rounds, you know. Eventually Fury would get to him. But I think he would have some trouble moments because their IQs are both so high, you know.
Yeah. I don't want to see that fight. Not that for it. I just don't want to see it. I would think it would be interesting. It would be interesting fight. Yeah. I want to see it. Let him get through AJ again and let's see how it develops. Because I think Fury would be good to retire right now. Yeah. Here we go. Andy Herbert says Fury was fantastic. Best game of boxing. It's not a game. Boxing ain't a game, man. What's that saying? Yeah. You don't play boxing, you know? Best game of boxing I've seen in a long time. Yeah, it was probably everyone's saying that right now. It was a great fight. Do you think AJ would beat Wilder? No, I've always thought Wilder would be able to psychologically, and I don't think AJ could handle him. I've always felt that. No, there's no bias or anything. I just think AJ would struggle. I wasn't
sure 3 years ago when they're both undefeated. I wasn't sure. I was saying 50-50 fight because AJ had better fundamentals, you know. But now when I look at it, I just don't see what AJ. I don't think he could handle this because AJ's only got.
Cannot do that.
Your guard, and this is all you got as your defense, and no slippery moves, then you're in trouble.
And it's not just that; it's the speed of Wilder as well. I think, and the range. He'd be a bit rangier than AJ. AJ's a lot slower, and I've always felt the Wilder had to punch through him and really wobble him.
You also always set up his shots.
Question for Jem: do you think AJ is like one of these young footballers that get overhyped and they can never live up to expectation? Yeah, he is. He has been hyped. I think people have built him up to be something. And when he's really been not even when he's been tested. I mean, he lost to Ruiz, he's lost to now Usyk, and you see people who like boxing him to go can see vulnerabilities in him, and you know you just you knock this guy out, but still question marks about him, and he's never really. I think overhyped, yes, and the expectations. I must admit he's beaten some top guys. He's the one consistently who's been fighting top guys. When I say top, like top 10. Top 15 contenders. Like King.
The resume is good.
It's a good run. It's a good run. But then the thing is, he took the belt of Fury. That was a sting, the IBF, and had to beat who's the I Am a God guy? What's his name? The Dread. Not Martin. Charles Martin. I mean, Charles Martin. Come on, man. Beat Charles Martin. I think that was a gift. It's like, come on now, let's start this money train. And then from then on, he's fought some decent guys and done well. But expectations, it is what it is. I mean, he's continued at that high level for a long time. Eventually, you're going to get beat. Jem says not many boxers can take a hit like Fury. That's what takes him up to another level as well. Yeah, we're going to get onto that. We're going to talk about attributes like that. But people might say, "Oh, I remember before this fight, everyone said, Fury got knocked down by the cruiserweight. Cruiserweight knocked him down. But is he knocked out? He gets up. This is the thing. Yeah. Anyone get hit flush like this, you're going to get up, don't you?
Look at Muhammad Ali, we got knocked down by Henry Cooper.
And agree with Fury and Muhammad Ali, it's the mentality, the will to win and not get. I mean, when that Fraser punch in the first fight of the century, 15th round, when you're tired and Fraser comes out, boom, Like he's cutting cane and clapped him clean on the jaw, and you'd think he's not getting up.
Yeah, just straight away.
Up straight away, like hell no, I refuse to lose. I think Fury's got a bit of that as well.
Yeah.
And finally, Fury's 33 now. He can go into his 40. I don't want him to. I want him to. I think he should get out on top.
Undisputed is the key. Yeah, that's what everyone's after. Those three guys.
But he's had the belts before. He's had all belts, so now you can say he's had all the belts out. Yeah.
The thing is, you can't retire without fighting AJ. It's like Mayweather. He couldn't retire without fighting Pacquiao.
Gemma's saying, "You better get some contact lenses, Edward." She says, "All right, let's move on now because we're halfway through the show." All right, bro. This was a trilogy fight of heavyweights. I want you. There's been other trilogy fights as well, but I'm going to name two most famous ones, which are probably most people would think are the best. First, we've got Muhammad Ali versus Fraser. I mean, they fought. The first fight for me was the best fight when they were both unbeaten. 1971, Madison Square Garden, both unbeaten. It went 15 rounds, and Fraser won it. That was it. Second fight was a 12-rounder. Fraser lost by this point to Foreman, and the final fight, Bruno Manila, they were both a bit past it, and it was a bit brutal, not nice to watch. That was a battering. And then you got the Holyfield-Bowe fight. What do you remember about the first fight with Holyfield-Bowe?
Bowe really came on strong in the later rounds from round 6.
Going into the fight, who was champion? Who was contender? What?
Well, I was like 6 or 7,
All right. So Holyfield was champ, and Bowe was the man coming up. Lennox Lewis was about to fight Razor Ruddock. As
Lewis beat Ruddock before Lewis beat Ruddock, and so he was number one contender. Whoever won that fight, but Holyfield was looking really strong. He had some good title defenses.
Not really. He fought Larry Holmes and
look up by.
That's a good pick.
Yeah. He beat George Foreman home
and nearly got knocked out by Burt Cooper.
Yeah, exactly. So there was a bit of vulnerability there, but with Bowe, he needed to show that he could step up, and his film motto was "A good big man beats a good little man always," and he showed. And he really came on strong in those last later rounds, and first guy to knock Holyfield down. No, well, not the first, but he knocked him down and beat him convincingly.
Well, but Burt Cooper dropped him, I think, in But going into the fight, I think Lennox Lewis and Bowe had fought in 1980 Olympics, so they were coming up at the same time on the rise. Two top guys. Obviously, Lewis was fighting in the UK. Lewis went and fought Razor Ruddock. It was around Halloween, I think, maybe, or around that time thing. And then Holyfield and Bowe fought later on because Lewis was at the fight, and then him and Bowe squared off at the end of the fight. I'm not scared of you like Razor Ruddock, he said. But so Bowe was on form. Was probably the best Bowe we've seen, and that was a great, fantastic fight he had with Holyfield. It was toe to toe. Holyfield probably fought the wrong fight, going toe to toe with such a big man. Like you said, the big man, good big man always beats a good little man, and that was proven that night. That was a fantastic fight. I mean, one of the best heavyweight fights you would see. Second fight between them was by this point Bowe is champion again. And this is the fan man thing, whereas the incident with the fan man came in. Up to that point, I think it was quite even.
I think Holyfield might have been ahead by a round or two, but Bowe was saying, that fan man was a big distraction because he had to wait and then he had to get warmed up again in the fight. And so, I can't really count that fight. Holyfield got the win but it wasn't.
And Holyfield changed his trailer for that fight, didn't he?
He had Manny Stewart.
Rest in peace. I mean, just show that we're talking about heavyweight boxing. Emmanuel Stewart is involved in most of these guys. Lennox Lewis, Holyfield, even up now, and Vladimir Klitschko as well. So Emmanuel Stewart, rest in peace, is a top trainer. So and in the last fight between Holyfield and Bowe, by this point Bowe was sort of on the decline. He wasn't really performing that well, but he's still
hearing at this time from his trainer that he's not really training properly. Bowe, his discipline hasn't been good. He's had long layoffs and everything else like that. And Holyfield started the fight really strongly. He really wanted to win. but there was some issues. It was like he was getting tired. But
yes,
there was a key moment in the fight, and I only know this because I listened to Bo, but Holyfield knocked Bo down for the first time.
a beautiful left hook.
Yeah, and Bo was thinking, forget it. He was just like when he knocked it down, Holyfield put his thumbs down at Bo.
Just to go like that.
He put his thumb down, and then Bo was like, "Oh hell no!" And then Bo was like, "He was like, hell no!" And he's like changing it up, and then right hook. Yeah. So Bo's got that mentality, man. He was like, he's on the street, he's not having that, So yeah,
I mean, that's a great story, is it? I love that. I love hearing that one. So when you tell it, because you can do the accents.
He got me all well there.
What I like about Bo as well, even though he was disqualified by Andrew Gullotta, by this point he was really finished. His went off his decline so quickly, but he was never knocked out. He was never knocked out, was he? And
was never, and he never got close to getting knocked out. And also, he was like one of the best inside fighters people have seen. He had it cool. I think as a heavyweight, he was like a complete package, and he had a great trainer as well, didn't he?
Eddie Futch.
Yes, one of the greatest. So his foundations was great. He won everything as an amateur, Golden Gloves. Obviously, the Olympics, he lost to Lewis, but after he won the first round. But he had all the foundation, good trainer. It's just his discipline that let him down.
Yeah. Apart from if you go like that.
Exactly.
then the New Yorker comes out.
He was smart. He should have just gone like that, put the thumbs down. He would have put the fight. Everyone's sad about not seeing that fight at that time, Lewis Bo, because it would have been
fantastic.
It could have been the greatest ever,
When do you think it should have happened? Very quickly. When do you think that should have happened?
Way after Bo won the score. Lewis is number one contender. Straight away, that's when they were both hot. They both had really.
I think twice, 2 occasions when it could have happened. Once when he threw the belt into the bin, refused to fight him. His trainer, Rock Newman, said, "No, let's go our own path."
Yeah.
And there's another time, I think, after he lost to McCall, 95. About that time, they'd almost signed to fight again.
There was an agreement. I think Rock Newman offered Lewis like small money, and like Lewis said it was like slapping his face money, and Bo was like, "That's what you deserve." So,
but anyway, we're building up this fight. So we're looking at Ali Fraser, and we touched on that. We looked at Holyfield Bo, that trilogy, and I think, who went down? They probably went down twice. Fraser, they were knocked down by Ali, but he knocked him down once. And Ali was the winner in the end, 2-1, 2-1. Holyfield, Bo was the winner in that 2-1 thing. And now we're comparing that to Fury and Wilder. Where do you rank it? 1, 2, and 3, based on remember Fraser and Ali fought each other at their prime. How good was the fight? It went 15 rounds, went 12, and then 15 again. Thriller Manila fight, the centuries, the big names for the fights. Holyfield and Bo meeting each other at that point. It was a great fight. The Spider-Man fight was also equally as good, and then the final fight as well. And then compare it to what we've just seen with this trilogy with Fury and Wilder. So I'm asking you, bro, rank them first, second, and third, and just do a quick.
I have to say Ali Fraser first, Wilder Fury second, and then Bo Holyfield third.
Oh wow!
And the reason why I have to put Ali Fraser first, because that first fight, Ali Fraser, is still one of the best heavyweight fights.
Yeah,
I still rank it like was number one, because it was like the welterweights. Ali's his big comeback after 3 years, and I think Ali's inactivity, obviously, he wasn't at his best. But that's what made it such an interesting fight, because we were used to seeing, everyone was used to seeing Ali on his toes and no one could get to him. But because he couldn't really dance around that more, he had to kind of stand with him. And Fraser, you don't want to be doing that with a guy like Fraser. And just the pace of the fight and the licks, you could hear it. It was like, ooh, ooh. It was just like, ooh, if I was the rest there, jeez, yeah. And they fought out of their skins, That's one fight of the trilogy.
You said the fight of the century. I agree with you on every point on that. Second
Yeah.
fight.
Second fight, Ali was fitter. He had a better strategy. You know, knew how to beat Fraser this time.
Fraser finished the second fight because he lost to Foreman, and I think the first fight against Ali.
Yeah,
people say that destroyed Fraser. Fraser was never the same
Fraser
after that.
Was however long, it was like 3 months. You know, he mocked him about it. You know?
Yeah. What did he say?
No,
yeah, I know.
No, Joe, yeah, he got him wild, you know. But
right, so that's first.
Yeah, again, out of the skin, like it was like they shouldn't be in there. It was hot, you know, and they were just.
That's number one. What's number? You said Fury and Wilder is better than Holyfield Bowe series. You reckon it's close, or do you think?
Yes, because I think the only Holyfield Bowe fight that was really good was the first one. I liked the third one because how Bowe came back. It wasn't like epic, you know, because Holyfield apparently he's having these heart problems and all that, and you know, it wasn't that epic, and Bowe wasn't at his best. But I think the first Fury Wilder fight was a really good fight because again, it made it interesting because Fury wasn't fit, like just like Ali wasn't in the first Fraser one. And then the third one as well, you know, obviously last night is one of the best.
Okay, it's interesting. Quickly, just to because we're going to move on to other things. I'm with you. I would have to put the Ali Fraser trilogy still as number one, just because with all the three of these trilogies, there's one great fight in them each, maybe two if we're putting Fraser and Thriller Manila as well. But the first draw between Fury and Wilder, it was a good fight. I wouldn't say it was as good as any Bowe 1 or 2. So, but then this last fight they just had maybe gives it more points. So it's hard. I think Holyfield and Bowe and this Wilder and Fury thing are quite equal. I know it's unfair, but you know sometimes in Olympics you give each other the same silver medal in high jump, for example. I'm giving them both silver medals in this one. I can't split them. Anyway, let's move on. Wilder's heart, please. What do you want to talk about? Wilder's heart, his strategy and game plan quickly.
Yeah, I think Wilder's definitely got a huge heart, and obviously he was from the second fight. He didn't want to stop. You know, he always feels like he's got that equalizer, no matter how if his chips are down. He always feels like he could change the fight just like that.
His heart, he took a beating, didn't he, throughout the whole thing, and he
kept a real beating, and you know he would. He doesn't. He's just there's no real quit in him, which is great.
What about strategy? Do you think because he's like 1-2, maybe a hook? That's maybe his arsenal. What about strategy?
Strategy. I really like what he's doing because at least he was showing a bit more variety with his punches. You know, no one's seen him really go to the body like that before, and it was scary. It was bloody intimidating. Like, wow, you could hear it, and it was like, yeah, this guy, you know. It was really
game plans. Moving on to the game plan quickly for Wilder.
Wilder had some more success than he did in the second fight, so the game plan was good. I would say,
Fury, talk about his chin, please. I know people say he's been knocked down a few times previously before he's won this title.
Yeah.
What do you think about Fury's chin? Does it stand up to like top chins in heavyweight ever?
Yes, because he's been knocked down 4 times by someone who's considered the best puncher ever in the heavyweight. And you know, I think with Vladimir, he didn't really get clipped. He didn't allow Vladimir to get to him, so he didn't get hit flush by him. But once he did, I think, one. Yeah, but he's got a great chin. But I just want to touch on one thing. When I was younger, I used to think that you know, some of these heavyweights, they don't go down. Like, so I used to think about guys like Tyson and Tua, their stature and their legs, you know, how their legs were. And I think that's the reason why they don't go down so easily. But like Fury and Wilder, they got chicken legs, man. And I'm thinking, how they are able to sustain this, like, you know, be able to stand strong and things like that. And they're tall guys. I feel like, I just would have thought that they would get knocked out easily, but something there is a spirit.
I think Fury always said to beat him, you have to nail him down to the canvas.
Yeah.
Desire. What do you think about Fury's desire?
Yeah, he's very determined. And I think it's more confidence. He's got self-belief that he could go the extra mile.
Mentality. Moving on to like same thing, mentality. well.
See the character. The character doesn't allow you to give up. His character is great.
Yeah. So do you think he's got good psychological, can psych people out? His pre-fight thing. Do you think that has a lot of?
The pre-fight thing. What he did to Vlad, I'm not seeing anyone do that to Vlad. He wrapped completely.
For those who don't know, do you want to tell what sort of character was Vlad quickly, and what did Fury do to get to him? In a way,
Vlad's got that sort of like demeanor where he's so cool, but you don't know if you could really approach him because he's intelligent and he's a bit witty. And you don't really know how you could get under his skin. Vlad's got that thing. You can't get under my skin. I'm Vladimir Klitschko. This is like a game of chess.
Well, how did Fury counteract that then? What do you think that made a big difference? He said, what did he do?
Just sort of from his actions, he just threw him off guard. Like the things like the
pre-fight, not in the fight. This is the promotion.
The whole coming in as was it Batman or something. And really kind of laying it on him and saying about, why he's so boring and everything else like that. Different approach. Hey, got under Vlad's skin a little bit with the shirt, the heads and all that. You saw that in the face.
Going on the elevator.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about legacy now after this great night. What do you think, if they're both to retire today, what do you think of the legacy of Wilder quickly? So who's his Wilder's best win? What's his legacy? Probably hardest puncher ever or whatever, his record. What will he be remembered as? I mean, how are you going to remember Wilder if they'd be retired today? What's his legacy? What do you know, remember?
Wilder's legacy it's got to be really up there because people talk about his resume and all that. But the fact is, the guy has knocked down every man he's faced. So is saying something. You can't diss the man. Anyone who's able to do that. And there's been some hard punches in heavyweight history like Ernie Shavers, but he was never a world champion.
Yeah.
You've got to say he's got this great legacy.
Would Ernie Shavers be a world champion today?
No, he hasn't got the skill set. I don't think. He's beatable. I don't think he had the same sort of heart as Wilder. I think.
There's a lot of champions today that maybe you could say like even Charles Martin was champion. Do you see what I'm saying? I think if Charles Martin could be a champion, surely Shavers could get a portion of the title. I think it's changed. Back then there was one main title, or one recognized.
I'm not sure. If he could handle it.
Okay, so his legacy is going to be one of the hardest hits.
Because the thing is, if you retire beating everyone you face except Fury, Fury's going to go down as one of the best ever.
Oh, well, let's move on to Fury then. What do you think if Fury retires tomorrow? Look, I just put some negatives on it. He's got his best wins is maybe Vlad and beating Wilder twice. Yeah. But beyond that, you'll beat Derek Chisora. I mean, the cruiserweight in Cunningham. I'm trying to think John McDermott, Hammer. I mean, it's not a great resume, is it? So do you think? So what do you think of Fury's legacy to retire today?
Well, to retire world champion, undefeated, and beating every man you face, that's good. But in terms of like all-round legacy, if you want to get in the top 10, how many title defenses he had? Just one title defense. Because of that inactivity and the mental health, that might go against him a bit because not only did he have that breakdown, but there was talk about some drugs and things that he's doing. So things that he said, outspoken things, which didn't go to the media. So his legacy is not.
So you think he needs to have more title defenses?
Yeah, 100%. I would say he's got to beat the best of the era here. So I'm talking about a guy like Dylan White, who probably should be number one at WBC. Obviously, in the AJ fight. And also someone like Joe Joyce, but and possibly Usyk as well. I think if he's able to get wins against those four guys, and you say he's beaten everyone in his era, like Lennox beat everyone he faced, then you could say retire in the sunset, undisputed.
So you'd urge him not to retire right now. You'd want him just to.
He wouldn't want to. He says he's got to go on for his mental health. He's got to go on,
what my thing is that if he beats these three guys, then there'll be another three guys people will be talking about by that point. Saying, "Oh, but he should be."
Yeah, I know what you're saying that, but I just think these guys, the guys that are ready now, he could fight 4 fights in 2 years. You know, he could.
Okay. I would still like to see him take out AJ. I think that would cement it. For me, even though AJ's not a champion anymore, I think that it's a British fight. It's two guys coming together, and they've lost a lot of money because when it was marketable, when it was big, before AJ's reputation sort of dropped a bit, there was a lot of value in that, and they've lost a lot of money on that fight while AJ was being bigged up, you know. So anyway, quickly, we're gonna rank Bob Arum. He's like 80. How old is he now? 80.
89.
Oh, he's an old boy. But Bob Arum used to manage Muhammad Ali back in the day as well. But he said in the press conference post match, you know, post match. Here I'm talking like I'm talking football. So I want to go post fight. Excuse me. This ain't the Man United agenda. By the way, we'll tune into Man United agenda tomorrow. I'm plugging the show. 8:00. Yeah. Anyway, so Bob Arum's saying that this is probably Tyson Fury's. I can't remember word for word, but basically saying Tyson Fury is one of the best, if not the best, heavyweight all round that he's ever worked with or seen, and that includes Muhammad Ali. So for grit, for determination, for skill, being the size he is, everything else. So what think is skill out of 10? What would you rate his skill?
I'll give him
like
9.
9 out of 10. Okay, I'd probably give him a 9. Yeah, a 9 as well. Power.
7.5, maybe 8.
I'd give him probably a 6 thing because for his size and everything else, I think he's not concussive, but he
7.5.
Chin
10.
10.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll say he's up there. It's 8, 9, 10 ish range. Heart. What do you think about his heart?
Heart is 10. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Psychological warfare.
Yeah, 9.
I'd say that's a 10 for me.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Fortitude.
Yeah. I mean, because he never doubts himself. You know, he's never. You know, when the chips are down, he keeps going on. You know. So.
Yeah. All right. Now, I've spoken all. I'm just gonna go through a few more comments. Just gonna run through them. Sorry, guys, leaving it late. So Herbert was saying about he's 33, can go to his 40. Need some contact lenses. These Edwards, Jem said to Edwards, Jem's come back with, I've done boxing since I was 8, so I'm used to not needing contact lenses. Good comeback. Yeah. You know what? We should try and set up a fight between Edward and Jem. You know, all things being fair. Get your gloves ready. Get training, guys. Holyfield won the fight with Tyson when he bit part of his ear off. Yep, that's thing. Gems, when's the next cop talk? I just want to announce tomorrow, 8:00, Gems and the Liverpool crew have their first show and their opening of their channel. And it's their, trust me, guys, get out there, support them. It's called Cop TV. So 8:00 tomorrow on Cop TV. Look it up. It's going to be Gemma and the Liverpool crew, and it's going to be their debut show. So please tune in for that. It's going to be fantastic. They're talking about Mo Salah, who I think is just amazing. What do you think of Mo Salah quickly? Great player, Zeke?
Amazing.
Yeah, amazing player. So we're Man United fans, and we're saying that, you know. Yeah. So tune in tomorrow for the debut of Cop TV, and big up all the Liverpool crew. That's Nicholas, Alvin, Stoney, Gemma, all you guys, you know, love you guys enough, you know, and you guys are going to smash it. Great stream, says Talk MU, thank you. Annie Herbert says, look at Joe Calzaghe, 4 up to 36, not even lost a game. Come on, never lost a fight. Not have weight. I know. I don't say. Never lost a fight. Yeah, Calzaghe, but I'm a bit. I think he didn't really fight the best. I don't think. Wilder, yeah, in his prime, best in their prime. He kind of was a homer. Wilder, Wilder has the hardest punch heavyweight division, but he was a sore loser. Okay, I think, yeah, I don't know if he's sore loser. What do you think?
Well, I would be a sore loser.
Yeah, it means a lot. I think that's good. It shows me it means a lot to him. It's like your mindset was like, I've got to win. And when you lose, it's okay to be like that. So fair enough. People asking Fury what's next. He was sure, so he was too sure. So He would. I don't understand. So I asked what to do. What do you think? I was just basically asking, what do you think for next Fury? Is he?
He's got to wait on Joshua Usyk.
Okay,
I think he might. Yeah, probably.
So Herbert saying, Wilder, you got to say, got fighter, ex-champion, hard hitter. Okay, but he couldn't beat the best in the business. Okay, yeah, agree. But he's still up there. I think he would beat most of these other guys, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can see Tyson fighting AJ, but in years to come, but it might be a match for charity. You never know. Andy Ruiz says Tyson Fury is much better than Ali. And Andy says, Omondi, I read that Conte might be interested in Newcastle job and signing. Yeah, that's for Manchester United agenda. This is FTB's boxing. Okay? Don't ever put my football hat. That's tomorrow. All right.
Sorry, bro. Just really touch on what Aaron said, and someone just said he's better than Ali.
Yeah.
I'm being realistic now. I think Fury, any era in heavyweight history, he'll be a problem for anyone. And the reason why I say that, because I think he's a complete package, and he's a freak of nature, because someone that big shouldn't be that skilled and that coordinated and have that much heart and desire. So when you say give fantasy matchups, you say Fury against Lennox, against Ali, you have to think to yourself, how would these guys beat him? How do you beat Tyson Fury? How do you do it? What would be Ali's strategy to beat him? What would be Lennox's strategy to beat him? How do you beat him? This is what I'm saying.
I think I'm confident to say best in the era. I think Fury, like Lennox, all these guys, best in the era. When it comes to these fantasy fights, I think that's something for like playing trump cards and all that kind of thing. It's difficult to know, because like back in the day, in Ali's time or Dad's time, most guys were like 15 stone and 6'2". Nowadays, they're 6'6", 6'7", 19 stone, as you saw yesterday. It's a different ball game, and I think if Ali was around now, he would probably be a bit more, with the supplements and everything they have. He might be a different kind of fighter. Who knows? But I think you can only be the best, and the only way you can size up is that who you're beating. So I always say, who have you beat? And Ali could say, yeah, I've beaten Thorman, who was unbeaten. I've beaten Fraser. I've beaten Norton. I've beaten, these top guys. And same Fury can say, I've beaten Vladimir Klitschko, who was unbeaten 10 years. I've beaten Wilder, who was had gone 10 defenses maybe in 5 years.
Yeah.
I was unbeaten. So I always ask who have you beaten and at what time you beat them, at what stage and everything else. That's my way of gauging things. And I think, so you can put them all in one bubble. For me, Ali's still number one. For a number of reasons. We can go into another thing, but Fury is really knocking on the door of greatness at the moment.
Yeah.
Sorry, just a couple more here. Ashley Woodhouse, how you doing? He says Wilder would destroy AJ. I tend to agree with that. What do you think, bro?
Yeah.
Styles make fights. Big George beats Fury.
There's another good matchup. Another good fantasy matchup. How do you approach the fight? It's stylistically, how do you win?
Dugout Daily says, yes, guys, big up Charlie. Say hi to Charlie, bro.
Yes, Charlie, big up, man.
And Herbert says, like Fury says, don't need much muscle, need muscle to be the best. Yeah. I mean, look at Frank Bruno and Tim Witherspoon. I mean, Witherspoon
pretty wrong conditioning, really.
Yeah, and you think Bruno with his build and everything else would be thing, but that muscle, that lactic acid and everything else is very difficult. That's not the best build for boxing, I don't think. And as Fury's
check his comments actually on the fight, because he's saying about their technique. He's saying, like, in my day, we have hands up all the time. Wilder's got a stance like this. There's so much. He wants to train Wilder, It's just
I've seen.
The technique wasn't great.
I mean, it's the thing. I really rate Witherspoon. I think Tim Witherspoon, one of the fantastic fighter, fantastic boxer. Good, really skilled, and maybe one of the best top three of the 80s, maybe. Larry Holmes and Mike Tyson, in my opinion. Fantastic fighter. But that's gonna wind up now. Any closing comments, bro? From what you've seen?
I mean, I'm very happy about the performance. Glad I stayed up, and I'm just looking forward to see what happens next. The heavyweight division is back, because for a long time it's in the wilderness after Lennox retired. You have rubbish fighters like Samuel Peter dominate and all this, and then you had the years of Klitschko's. There wasn't anyone to rival them. But now you can name about 4 heavyweights and good matchups. So it's got back to the good time in that way, how it was in the 90s.
I agree. And just on the undercard, the
I
Cuban
told you
guy,
Maggie and Hellenius though, didn't I? I said Hellenius beat him again.
I was wrong. I thought that he'd be a favourite. I thought he'd win, but he got battered. He's in hospital apparently now. No, he got really hurt. Hellenius on him, and they disqualified it rather than actually stop the fight. He said, "Oh, you're holding, doing something." But I don't think that guy. Forget his name, the Polish American, Kowalski with a K, or forget the Polish guy from America, New York, who Hellenius beat yesterday. He's got to be out of the picture now. And F.A. Agba, the Nigerian guy, he lost his first fight. He got beat by the Cuban. He was outpointed as well. So his momentum's going to dive now. So he's not going to be getting a title shot anytime soon, I don't think. But yeah, I just want to say boxing's back. We're going to be back again. I hope if you like the show, please like and subscribe. Give us some comments at the bottom. We're going to be delivering some more boxing. Maybe we're considering doing like a weekly show, weekly roundup. If you like us, guys, give us a shout out and tell us what you think. Critique us, But yeah, FTB Sports is doing bits at the moment. So we're covering boxing. Also going to cover a bit of track and field as well. So there's more to come, guys. And I just want to say thanks to you guys tuning in. I'm glad. If you haven't seen the fight, please go and watch the fight. What do you say, bro?
Yeah, 100%. It's on Check Daily Motion.
Yeah. And I hope you enjoyed the fight. I mean, we love talking about boxing. We always talk about boxing. We love it so much. And like talking about it with you guys, it makes it even better for us, So we'll be back. Hope you guys will be back soon. Go and check out the fight. I think it's up there. One of the best fights I've seen. Top 3, as you started the show, Zico, you said the top 3 with Vladimir Klitschko against AJ, with Lewis against Lewis, and now we've got this one. I think this one tops all 3.
Yeah.
We're signing out. Last few words. Love you guys. We love you too, Edward. Thank you very much. And a great stream tonight. Thank you very much, guys. And everyone else who commented, big up. And love you, and we see you soon. All right, so I'm signing out. I'll see you on the Man United agenda tomorrow, maybe, Kahinde.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. God bless everyone. See you later.